There is a lot of talk that they could be a little bit short of cash.
But their security costs, as you mentioned, it's like £2 million a year. Their mortgage would be high. These deals were big deals. The Netflix one, the Spotify one.
Everyone knew that there were tensions behind palace walls, but I don't think anyone could have predicted just how toxic this was going to become.
A palace insider just went public with something disturbing. Meghan Markle has taken out 5 separate life insurance policies on Prince Harry. And the insider isn't just revealing the policies exist. They're warning that Harry's life might actually be in danger. 5 policies, not one standard life insurance plan like most couples have. 5 separate policies taken out over the past 2 years while Harry's been isolated from his family, stripped of security, and dealing with mounting financial pressure.
But the bigger scoop I had today was Harry's Invictus Games are in big trouble, huge trouble. And there's security issues, there's staffing issues. Birmingham, where it's supposed to be held in a year and a half, doesn't really want them. They're broke. They went bankrupt 2.5 years ago. They're kind of just on their feet again. Nobody understands this. Invictus Games still doesn't have a head of marketing.
The palace insider who leaked this information says they're coming forward because they're genuinely concerned for Harry's safety, that the combination of massive insurance policies, financial crisis, and Harry's increasingly vulnerable position creates a situation that needs public attention. And when you look at what's actually happening with Harry and Meghan right now, that concern starts making sense. Harry and Meghan are burning through money at an unsustainable rate, £5 million per year in costs. They've already spent £30 million since moving to America, and their income streams are drying up fast.
Don't know about how Harry and Meghan make their money.
Harry, are you putting money before family? Are you putting money before family?
Any questions? From their Archwell employee toll, have they? So, does this mean they might be struggling financially? Do you think?
Meghan's As Ever brand is failing. Stockpiles of unsold products. Netflix dropped her show after just 2 seasons. The ventures she thought would make them independent aren't generating the money they need. Harry's first tell-all book made £16 million, but that money's gone. Now there's talk of him writing a second book just to cover their expenses. That's not building wealth, that's desperation spending. So when the palace insider reveals Meghan's taken out 5 life insurance policies on Harry, the financial motive becomes obvious. If something happened to Harry, those policies would solve every financial problem Meghan's currently facing. And Harry's in a position where something happening to him is more plausible than it should be. The palace insider who came forward says the policies were taken out quietly over the past 2 years, not all at once, spread out so they wouldn't raise immediate red flags. According to the source, palace officials have known about some of the policies for months, but they've been terrified to discuss it publicly. One official is quoted saying, "There's a lot going on behind the scenes people don't know about regarding the Sussexes."
She'll fall that far, because let's be honest, she'll do anything for a few quid, won't she?
Well, she will do anything at all. And if you look at what she does, when something goes wrong, she then sort of comes up with a list of what she's going to do straight away.
That quote takes on new meaning when you know what they're referring to. Multiple life insurance policies on a man who's been isolated from family, stripped of security, and dealing with mounting pressure. The insider claims Meghan handles all the financial planning. Harry's largely kept in the dark about the specifics of their situation. He knows they're spending a lot, but the full picture of debt, failing ventures, and these insurance policies, that's information Meghan reportedly controls.
And I've watched her on engagements, Meghan, of listening, asking the right questions, being very engaged. I remember in Australia she baked banana bread when we went to the outback because she wanted those sort of small things that she can do. She wanted to show that she really cared. But I mean, obviously behind the scenes it was a bit different.
And the warning that came with this leak is what's most concerning. The insider says Harry's life is genuinely at risk, not from outside threats, from the situation he's in. Look at how Meghan's positioned Harry since they left the royal family. Cut off from his brother William, estranged from his father, living in California away from everyone who'd notice if things weren't right.
Many comments saying that he will come to regret this because he's effectively become a footnote in history. He has become, the worst nightmare of any self-respecting person. He has become a parody. No one really respects him. I think it was a shame that his children miss such an event, because again, it is a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Palace insiders have been saying for years that Meghan systematically separated Harry from his support system. Each family relationship that breaks down leaves Harry more dependent on Meghan alone. And now reports are surfacing that they're living separate lives. That the pressure has mounted to the point where they're barely functioning as a couple, but they're still together publicly, still presenting a united front. That's the dangerous part. If they're essentially separated but still legally married, and Meghan's the beneficiary on 5 life insurance policies, Harry's value to her dead might exceed his value alive. As you guys probably know, Harry's already dealt with serious health scares. He's talked about his mental health struggles, his substance uses history, his physical health issues from military service.
Did you start the process of trying to figure it out? You hadn't tried it before? No.
I quickly established that if this relationship was going to work, that I was going to have to deal with my past, because there was anger there. Carrying around some form of unresolved grief, trauma, or loss. And that manifests itself.
Any of those could be framed as natural causes or tragic accidents if something happens, especially with no royal security around him anymore, especially isolated from family who demand answers. Harry lost his taxpayer-funded security when he left royal duties. He's been fighting to get it restored for years. The UK government keeps denying it, and private security, while he has some, isn't the same as having Met Police protection.
He is now trapped in this terrible cycle of doubling down on the original mistake. He was told so clearly when he was considering leaving by the palace at that time, the security won't be paid for anymore. He was told it again and again. He didn't want to hear it, he didn't want to listen to it. I think he thought he could just blow it off.
That means Harry's more physically vulnerable than he's been since childhood. No 24/7 royal protection, no secure perimeter around his home, just private guards who work for Meghan since she controls their finances. Then there's his isolation. William won't speak to him. Charles is reportedly keeping distance. The friends he had in the UK have mostly been cut off or chosen sides in the royal rift.
You know, my brother and I love each other. I love him deeply. There has been a lot of pain between the two of us, especially the last 6 years.
Harry's support system is essentially gone. The people who'd notice if something was wrong, who'd ask questions, who'd demand investigations, aren't in his life anymore. And his health makes him vulnerable in ways that could be exploited. He's been open about his struggles with alcohol and substances in the past, about his mental health battles, about physical injuries from military service. Any incident could be explained away as relapse, as mental health crisis, as old injuries catching up to him, especially if the only person around him when it happened was Meghan. The palace insider's warning isn't baseless. Harry's in a genuinely precarious position. And the reason palace officials are terrified to discuss the Sussexes publicly is because they know something like this. They know about the insurance policies. They know Harry's vulnerable. And they know that speaking out could either trigger Meghan to act or make the palace look complicit if something does happen.
Or was it the case that as the Duchess of Sussex, her behaviour became unreasonable and that her staff were driven to distraction? There were strains within the Sussex household. It's a matter of record that staff members left.
Because what do they say? We're worried Meghan might benefit from Harry's death? That's an accusation they can't make without proof. But staying silent while knowing about 5 insurance policies and Harry's vulnerable state feels like negligence. But the warning is real. And it's coming from people who've worked close enough to the situation to know what Meghan's doing and what position Harry's in. Prince Harry is isolated from family, stripped of security, dealing with health issues, living essentially separate from Meghan but still legally married. And Meghan's taken out 5 separate life insurance policies on him while facing financial crisis.
Queen Elizabeth advised Prince Harry to wait a year before marrying Meghan Markle, according to a new biography. Although the future Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, was initially welcomed into royal circles following the start of her relationship with Prince Harry.
The palace insider who revealed this information did so with a warning. Harry's life is in danger, not from external threats, from the situation he's in. Whether that danger is intentional or just the natural consequence of his vulnerable position, the result is the same. Harry's worth more to Meghan dead than alive right now. 5 insurance policies. That's not redundancy. That's not normal financial planning. That's making sure you're covered from every angle if something happens. The palace can't act on suspicions. They can't accuse Meghan of planning something without proof, but they can leak information through insiders. They can get the warning out there publicly so people are watching. Because if the public knows about the policies, if people are paying attention to Harry's situation, it becomes much harder for anything to happen quietly. That's what this leak is really about. Making Harry's vulnerability public so he's less vulnerable. Putting eyes on the situation so Meghan knows people are watching. The question isn't whether Meghan has 5 life insurance policies on Harry. The Palace insider confirmed that. The question is whether those policies are just financial planning or whether they're preparation for something more sinister, and whether Harry even knows they exist.